Guinness just can't keep up. As if President Obama didn't impress Muslims enough when he took the gold at the International Dhimmi Limbo Championships, he has somehow managed to shatter his own world record by bending even further backwards, causing concerned citizens to yell, "Mr. President, please put your hand under your head before it hits the ground." Yes, while even the most limber contortionists are often limited by the annoying presence of a spine, the amazing rubber band president proves once and for all that certain invertebrates can fit into any container, whether an Oval Office or the Muslim Brotherhood's back pocket.
And I consider it part of my responsibility as President of the United States to fight against negative stereotypes of Islam wherever they appear.
In The Art of War, ancient Chinese general Sun Tzu said, "Know your enemy." In The Art of Dumb, American President Barack Obama declared, "Knowledge is your enemy." Our greatest enemy, of course, is knowledge of Islam. Knowledge of Islam is to President Obama what knowledge of human rights is to President Ahmadinejad. It's an obstacle to downward progress. Knowledge of the Quran is bigotry. Knowledge of Muhammad is racism. If you spell knowledge of Sharia backwards, what does it spell? Islamophobia. And if you don't see that, my friend, then you have been brainwashed by a Zionist Jew.
The United States does not accept the legitimacy of continued Israeli settlements.
After receiving complaints from CARE and other terror-linked Muslim Brotherhood front groups, the Obama administration has decided to bring all government training materials into rigorous conformity with the demands of stealth jihadists hell-bent on destroying Western civilization from within. No surprise, because that's exactly what we've come to expect from the Pied Piper of Islamo-pandering political correctness. Nothing says tolerance like forcing lobotomies on the agents who protect us from terrorists.
We will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world.
Obama's spokesman for the latest upgrade to his lemming approach to national security is Dwight C. Holton, who said of the new strategy, "I want to be perfectly clear about this. Training materials that portray Islam as a religion of violence or with a tendency towards violence are wrong, they are offensive, and they are contrary to everything that this President, this Attorney General, and Department of Justice stand for. They will not be tolerated." Well, Mr. Holton, if you're going to eliminate all training materials that portray Islam as violent, I guess you'll be eliminating the Quran, the Hadith, the Sirah literature, and all classical Muslim commentaries from your required reading list. But just in case someone accidentally brings an actual Muslim source to one of your training sessions, I suggest getting a venti bottle of whiteout so you can cover up things like, "Fight those who believe not in Allah. O Prophet, strive hard against the unbelievers and the hypocrites and be unyielding to them. O you who believe, fight those of the unbelievers who are near to you and let them find in you hardness. O you who believe, do not take the Jews and the Christians for friends. They are friends of each other. Be not weary and faint-hearted, crying for peace when ye should be uppermost. Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and those who are with him are severe against disbelievers and merciful among themselves. The messenger of Allah said, I have been commanded to fight against people till they testify that there is no God but Allah. The Prophet said, whoever dies without having fought or having thought of fighting, he dies on one of the branches of hypocrisy. The messenger of Allah said, whoever meets Allah with no mark on him as a result of fighting in his cause, he will meet him with a deficiency. The messenger of Allah said, I will expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any but Muslims. Allah's messenger said, if anyone changed his Islamic religion, then kill him. Now, we obviously can't let government agents know about these passages. If they find out what Islam commands, they might be able to predict what Muslim terrorists are going to do, and someone could end up preventing the next Fort Hood massacre. And we can't have that. Our diversity is too important. Tell me, how bland and boring would the U.S. military be without enlisting a few jihadists to spice things up by slaughtering their fellow soldiers?
And what happened at Fort Hood was a tragedy. But I believe it would be an even greater tragedy if our diversity becomes a casualty here.
The Ephialtian anti-patriots of the Obama administration know how dangerous basic facts about Islam can be, which is why they're not only banning accurate instruction on jihad and Sharia, but also actively seeking out and silencing government agents who already know something about Islam. Mr. Holton minces no words. Now, the reality is, it is going to take a bit to go back and figure out what trainings have happened in the past that we need to go back and fix. We're a big organization, we've got lots going on with lots of people and lots of contractors, but Attorney General Holder is firmly committed to it, and we're going to fix it. They're going to go back and fix any training that's already occurred. Well, if agents learn from prior training sessions what Islam really teaches, how does the Obama administration propose to re-educate them? Some sort of de-smartification, Ray? If that doesn't work, there's always...
Leave us alone.
And if all else fails...
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
Care to see Obama 1 Kenobi's mind tricks in action?
Bin Laden was not a Muslim leader. And throughout history, Islam has demonstrated through words and deeds the possibilities of religious tolerance and racial equality. Islam has a proud tradition of tolerance.
And with a wave of his hand and a twirl of his tongue, President Obama will reprogram the intelligence community, leaving them with all the sharp wits and critical thinking skills of the Stepford Wives. With the world's fastest growing religion calling for our violent subjugation and Western leaders more interested in petting the foxes than protecting the hens, our future may seem a bit Alamo-ish. So, is it time for depression and despair to set in? No, because we've reached the point in the video where I refuse to end on a sad note and instead turn things around, inspiring you to take action. You see, America and other Western nations have been through the fire before. My family was fighting for this country before it was a country. The French and Indian War, the American Revolution, building a nation from the ground up. And from the very beginning, America has never been very far from danger. We've been through a civil war, the Great Depression, Nazis, commies, the ACLU, Rosie O'Donnell. Every generation has its dragons and vampires to face. Every generation sees its share of scandals and sellouts.
It was Islam at places like Uluzara that carried the light of learning through so many centuries, paving the way for Europe's Renaissance and Enlightenment.
Now, what's coming at us? On the one hand, we have the jihadists, people whose greatest contribution to military strategy is the suicide bombing. Oh, we just can't figure out how to kill the infidel without blowing ourselves up in the process. These guys are one step away from inventing ejector seats for helicopters or screen doors for submarines. They're not deep thinkers. And on the other hand, we have the Obama administration and the media, people who would run from their own shadow if that shadow were ever to make a true statement about Islam. The anti-American dream team, then, consists almost entirely of cowards and morons. The only way we could ever be defeated by a force like that is if we do absolutely nothing. So, let's not do nothing. When the president strives to impose willful ignorance, paradoxically, on the intelligence community, we should strive even harder to spread accurate information about Islam. If the president goes a mile for the Muslim Brotherhood, we need to go 3 miles for freedom. When the president adds a brick to his wall of deception, let's take down 5 bricks. That's how you defeat a campaign of misinformation.
Partnership between America and Islam must be based on what Islam is, not what it isn't.
I'll be doing my part this month in honor of the president's decision to blindfold agents who really need to see where to pin that tail. We'll be having Jihad Awareness Month over at Answering Muslims. Plenty of articles to read, new videos to forward, maybe some pamphlets you can print out and pass around. But whether you get your information from me or from other sources, let's all make an effort this month to learn a few essential passages from the Quran and the Hadith, to share those passages with others, and to work just a little harder than the media-endorsed, Obama-approved Muslim Brotherhood front groups that seek our annihilation. I encourage everyone to get involved with some of the organizations that are standing up for human rights and educating people about jihad and Sharia. Organizations like the American Freedom Defense Initiative, Stop Islamization of America, and Act for America. Teamwork definitely has its advantages, especially when the stakes are so high. And finally, I don't care if you live on Mars, make sure you attend the Jessica Mokdad Human Rights Conference coming up in April. This human rights discussion needs to take place, and there's no better place to have it in America than Dearborn, Michigan. See you there.